wherein the case of Nomia Ndlovu is still ongoing. Let's take you there live.
When these voice recordings were made, was it at the time when the person behind the voice was applying for the policies, or was it at the time when the person behind the voice merely making inquiries about the policies? That's what I need to understand.
Okay. Those raw voice recordings, it's when the person was applying for the policies over the phone, using a phone.
Marke Mando, the voice recording letia at teritamu loi arku enden ka application arku enden shash kombelo shaku teka arku teken ka police.
What do you want to do
My Lord, with regard to the findings that the voices, the findings of Mr. Jansen is that those voices belongs to the accused. Thank you, my Lord.
Lesi tatan soko balaba ku ushamla so na mandu ushamla lesi Mr. Jansen anga bodi shanga fikelela ka shona loko a heta ku endla ntirho wa yena ku voice leyi nga laha ka recording ya I voice ya Rosemary leswi va lava ku hlamula so tani leswi na judge va vutisaka ku se a swi twa wa vula ku vumbhoni bya yena u te yima kwina kwihi se u lava ku a hlamula yini mandlo
tipolisi leti nga teka hi order a ni swi tivi a ni tekanga tipolisi ni ti endla order ni tiva leti nga teka hi mehe.
My Lord, if this refers to policies which were taken out by insurance policies which were taken out by the late Rosemary Nomia Ndlovu, I bear no knowledge about it. I can only account about the policies which I took myself. And, my Lord, I never took policies pretending or impersonating Audrey. Pretending to be Audrey or impersonating her.
And
so I just have something to add on that.
Loko sesome over arala ka site leri a vulavula u ta ku yini a vulavula ku fana mara anteka nga tipolisi ni pretenda ku va yena.
I just want to add this, my Lord. My voice is very much similar to that of my sister. If she was to talk being on the other side of the room, you being here and being talking here, you'll think that it's the same person or it's me. But having said that, my Lord, I never impersonated her, pretended to be her and took policies. My Lord, I did not do that.
May the court bear with me, my Lord.
Yes. In the interpretation that at the police station, I think it was count 15 or 17, where the accused and then the plea of guilty, which was rejected by the state. But keep in mind, and I think we need to pay attention, that the only evidence that was given in that admission, in that count, is evidence before the court, so they've got to deal with that situation as well. Did I mention this, that did I want both the state and the council that is the evidence before the court? Yes. You know, there is, I think,
Count 15. Conspiracy to kill Joyce Ndlovu.
Yes. So she did admit that she did this, that, you know, the only reason. The other one, which was earlier than that, is that she didn't plead guilty because it never materialized. So I just want to bring that to your attention so that you can. It's been covered quite, the broad field of evidence also assists so that nobody circumstances may say, well, you haven't dealt with this, therefore it's dead. So it's
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Ndlovu, there's evidence also before this court where you pleaded, where you confess the conspiracy, that you conspire with Njabulo Kunene, Mr. Mjali, to kill Joyce Ndlovu and her children, and her 5 children.
Kuna mboni la awuteni Mandlovu lethi kombeta kuleswaku ze ungabhosha makaku upumela maritamo yakho uzongabhoha xikungu ku ri na Njabulo Kunene na Mjali xa leswaku dame ya dlaya Joyce Ndlovu na vana va yena lava va ntlhanu.
Antumelanga. Judge u te loko a ni vutisa ivile a va vulavula hi Lakhiwe. Nu va ku men plana na Lakhiwe ku ni ya dlaya Joyce na vana va yena. Nu andzanga ni plana ku ya dlaya Joyce Joyce na vana va yena famba na Lakhiwe Mkhize. Judge aku not Lakhiwe i endle mistake. Nu ku mele xi ni xi pfumelaka ni planile ku famba na Njabulo aku to kill Joyce i swi vula sweswo English ani pfumelanga nto a tlhela a phinda aku to kill Joyce nuku ani ali ku ni planile ku famba Bushbuck Ridge na Njabulo ivile loko ha sungula court so judge aku loko ku ri ku aku na lexi u xi pfumelaka trial ya mahlweni loko ta sungula trial.
My lord, no, I never made any confessions. I did not admit to any of that. And I do remember, my lord, it was at the beginning of the trial. When it was put to me that I conspired with, in fact it was said I conspired with Lakhiwe. Lakhiwe go and kill Joyce. The charges as put to me, my lord, it was that I conspired with Mjali to go and kill Joyce. I said I admitted, my lord, to traveling with Njabulo Kunene to Bushbuck Ridge. And then I remember even the exact words of the judge. When I said that, the judge said, traveling to Bushbuck Ridge with Njabulo Kunene to kill Joyce. I said no. It was repeated to say, traveling to Bushbuck Ridge with Njabulo Kunene to kill Joyce. I said no. So I did not admit or confess to anything. I do recall that. It was at the start of the trial.
I did not want to get into some discussions with the accused. I just want to bring to the attention of that during the plea stage, in count number 13, that was a conspiracy to murder Joyce. She pleaded guilty, and she subsequently changed. She said he's not pleading guilty, and that's the reason why I said the record must be corrected. But in count 15, on the alternative count, she pleaded guilty, and then she said she even traveled it. And the state refused that to accept that the plea that was given. So let's try to remove all the dust from our eyes and face the facts. So that I just want to deal with. Counsel is there. I'm just highlighting this so that when I deal with this in my judgment, I shall have the benefit of the contribution. I didn't want it. That's because your plea has been rejected. However, then there are tendencies into admissions. Didn't I say so, Mr.?
You did, my lord.
Didn't I say so?
I agree, so
That's the one there. So let's not, look, I don't want to get into arguments with the accused. I will expect the counsel to address me on that.
Thank you.
Please proceed, Mr.
And then,
And I was really highlighting this so that it doesn't remain unattended. Due to the fact that I've said indicated, and now sounds like an old, stretched record, that we have listened to so many witnesses. And then Mr. Soko hasn't got the benefit of instructing a attorney. But real estate is in a much better position because the investigating officer is actually acting as an instructing attorney. So I was just bringing that to assist in the interest of justice. Please proceed to Mr. Soko.
thank you. Ms. Ndlovu, there's so further evidence that from Mr. Mkhatshwa that at some times you took a policy where you covered Mr. Maurice Mabasa and you did not cover yourself in that policy.
Di twarele ke vumbhoni bya Mkhatshwa Henry Dix Mkhatshwa u hlamusele court leswaku Ndlovu uzoteka police ka yena le a wu khavare kumbe ku tsarisa Maurice kambe wena a wu nga ti tsarisangi ku yi hakela eka yona.
This is Maurice Mabasa, man.
Can I answer now? Can I respond now?
Yes.
Hlamula man.
Ni tekile police ni tsarisa Maurice. Loko ni sungula ku teka tipolisi ka Dix Mkhatshwa a ni nga se rhandzana na Maurice, so already a ni ri na tota me, so hi yo mhaka loko se ni teka liya mani nga tsarisanga ku Maurice a ni n'wi eda already me a ni ti tsarisi khale.
Yes, I did that, my lord. In fact, when I started taking policies from Mr. Dix Mkhatshwa, it was before I was in a relationship with the late Maurice. So I had my own policies. So as I added him or covered him in these policies, that's the reason why in some of them he was added on the policies where I wasn't covered. Yes, yes.
Yes, at that stage when you took that policy, how long had you been in a relationship with Mr. Mabasa?
Se loko u teka yona ya le police le a swi ri na nkarhi u tani hi kwihi u kha u rhandzana na Mabasa?
Ni sungule ku rhandzana na Maurice hi 2011, so kumbe loko bava so on byela ku ni teke hi lembe rini hi date yini hi ku tshama swin'we full time hi sungule ku tshama swin'we hi 2012, so kumbe ni nga vula tsundzuka ku a ku ri nkarhi wa ku fika.
My relationship with Mr. Mabasa started in 2011. So if counsel were to give me a date, perhaps I would be able to remember the date on which that policy was taken out. We started cohabiting in 2012. That is myself and the late Mr. Mabasa. So, but I'll be able to fresh in my mind to remember if counsel were to give me the date on which this policy was taken out.
The court permit me, right?
Yes.
Will it be QQ? Exhibit QQ, which was taken on the, I think, the 1st of December 2013. 2000, and then there's also the other one for 80, a secondary one which was 40,000 and because it was then reflected as a spouse and it escalated to 80.
Yes, but that's what December 2013, indeed, my lord. It was on December 2013 when you took this policy.
About 2013 in December, my lord. So what was the question?
My question was, when you took that policy, how long were you in a relationship with Mr. Mabasa?
Look, we take a policy when Maurice, I'm not
Loko ri ya December 2013 ka relationship se a ri na vo 2 years to 3 years.
I think 2 to 3 years. If the policy was taken out during December of 2013, our relationship was about 2 to 3 years old.
Sorry baba Nxumalo. Na tipilisi la ta pain nkombela ku no kumbe ni ta va kahle ni twa ku vava serious.
My lord, the witness says she is seriously in pain. She has some tablets in her bag and she would like to be given a chance to take those tablets, ma'am.
Kumanta kuna le hansi le ta vona ti phaketa yi phaka tipilisi. Wena faka isandla lapha nempekeni.
My lord, I'm wrapping up.
Yeah, wrapping up.
Yes.
Look at it.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
But why? This is Mr. Stone.
That's it.
I hear it.
There was further evidence from Mr. Dixon Kwacha, who testified that after you took the funeral, on that application form, you made a comment and said that the amount, the premium, the amount to cover those people will be enough to bury them. To bury if they passed on, my lord, please.
Se kuna vumbhoni byin'wana lebyi nga nyikiwa yena tatani Dix Henry Mkhacho ku ri nkarhi luwa loko u teka tipolisi letiya eka application form u ve u tsala ku mali leyi policy a yi ta yi hakela yi ta va yi ringanile ku lahla lava va nga khavariwa lava nga tsarisiwa hi marito yan'wanyana loko vo tshika va lovile.
I mean ni nga endla ti-comments teleto hi ku a ku ngo va ya ku sungula ni teka ka Mkhanjwa hi police leyi nga vula ku ve na ti-comments teleto. Ti-comment leti leswi va ku swi ri koho kwalaha ka tifomu teta ta vona wo ku hlayela hi a ku byela so u sayina.
No, I'm not the one who made those comments. But not further, it was not the first policy that I took from Mr. Dix Mkhacho. In fact, that information is already on those forms. What happens during the process of taking out such a policy, the representative of the insurance company reads to the applicant what is there, and then you sign at the end of the day. So that's what happened. It was read to me, then I signed. Not that I put the comments on the application form.
Thank you, my lord. I have no further question for you.
Would you like to ask whether we covered everything?
Thank you, my lord. Ms. Ndlovu, have I covered the whole evidence that you all, everything that you wanted to say has been covered?
Mando, kubona ka we ka leswi swi nga vulavuriwa hinkwaswo u ehleketa leswaku mi khumbe swilo hinkwaswo leswi a wu lava ku swi vula na
va swi khumbile mara kun'wana laha ni vilelaku kona hi laya ka ku loko va ni vutisa ngopfungopfu hi to tipholisi hi ku mhakankulu a ni ri timeda leti va ri i timhaka ta tipholisi advocate Soko a nga ni vutisi ku hi tipholisi leti ka munhu wa ku fana na loyi for instance no lava ku mi komba xikombiso loko morisa lovile hi ku wa n'wi tsarisile u claimile na ni ku loko ri okay ku evidence yi ko vhele ku ni claimile u claimile u yi pfunile hi funeral na munhu wa so u pfunile hi funeral sa munhu wa so u claimile so na a nga ni vutisi hi mhaka ku na nkarhi wun'wana loko mi za mi ni vutisa hi brilliant na mayengi ni hete ni byani ku na ku claima ka vanhu valava a ni claimanga so mara ka leswin'wana hinkwaswo leswi a nga vutisa swona yini erikisekile swona.
Yes, mostly it was covered. The evidence was covered in the examination in chief by Mr. Soko. However, my lord, there was something that was left out regarding the issue of insurance policies. There were aspects, for instance, where I was asked if I claimed after the death of certain people. And I said yes. In fact, the evidence is already there that claims were made, which I do not dispute. But Mr. Soko did not ask me in part.
Well, the Nomia Ndlovu murder case still in progress at the Johannesburg High Court sitting in Palm Reach. We'll dip into it a little later on. But for now, let's take a quick break. We'll be back in a moment.